Greetings, I'm Barrington. Welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be continuing our adventures in the Forbidden Fortress in the world of Shadows of Brimstone. In our last adventure, Shintaro and Kasumi both fell to the powers of darkness. They were trying to seal the gate, and alas, they were taken down by the forces of darkness and are going to have to suffer an injury and then return to town. Now, in this video, what's going to happen is, unfortunately, they are not able to get back to town. They awoke inside the fortress that they were just in, but in an area they've never visited before. So they have to try to escape from this fortress. But don't worry, they're going to be rescued by two of our returning allies that were helping them in an earlier video. So we've got 4 adventurers playing through this next scene in Forbidden Fortress. This is going to be super cool. So we're going to I'm going to show you what's going on. Then we're going to meet our 2 returning characters. I'm also going to give you a quick rundown of all the characters because at the time of this recording, it's been a while since I've been back to Forbidden Fortress. So just want to make sure everybody gets a refresher on all of our characters and where they stand. I want to mention that this playthrough does come courtesy of my Patreons. I decided to have them vote on what they wanted to see continued. And this was the one that got the highest votes for what campaign they want to see continued. So here we go in the world of Forbidden Fortress. And if you're excited to see if Shintaro and Kasumi and their 2 returning allies can make it through the next adventure in Shadows of Brimstone, then I need you to meet me at the table. When I was going to record this video, I was all set to go to the feudal village. I have this new expansion. I'm super excited to get to it. But in our last video, we failed. And if you read here, it says, if the heroes fail the mission, the surge of creatures from the Void Gate destroys all the villages nearby. The heroes may not visit a feudal village, but instead must proceed directly to the next adventure. Since we did both go down, why not have an escape as our next mission? So let's quickly run through the rules on this. Here it says, something went terribly wrong after that last mission, and now you're deep in the fortress and surrounded. You must find a way out before you are overwhelmed and devoured by the darkness that is chasing you. This is where we're going to say both of our characters were lost inside this fortress, but don't worry, 2 brave characters came in to save us. They found our unconscious bodies, were able to bring us back to life, and now we're all going to try to make it back out of this fortress. Sadly, once these characters came in to save us, the fortress has gone through some major changes, so they're also lost in here. So we have to escape from this evil place. And that's one of the really cool things about Shadows of Brimstone is you're able to create your own narrative as you go through this game. So that's the narrative I have set up for our characters. Let's check out what we're supposed to do. It says the mission starts with the heroes already deep inside the fortress with just a cross path map tile. All heroes start on the cross path and may be placed in any space they like. All 4 exits of the crosspath are considered doors. Remove the crosspath map card from the fortress map. Note that hero party marker is not moved forward a step on the depth track for this crosspath. Mission goal. We are chased by the darkness. The heroes must find a way out of the forsaken fortress before they are devoured in the deep. They must explore the fortress until they find a fortress entrance map tile and escape. Our special rules will talk about how we're surrounded by darkness. As you frantically search for a way to escape the darkness, it closes in around you. Anytime the heroes find an exploration token with a clue icon, it moves the party marker 1 step forward on the depth track, but also adds an extra threat card to the token. So it brings us closer to the entrance, but it's going to cause more enemies to appear. If there's already an attack or an ambush attack, this extra threat card would fall on top of that one. If it's an exploration token with an encounter, then it's just going to be an attack along with an encounter as well. Of course, there could be a dangerous escape at the end of the first turn in which one or more heroes is standing on the fortress entrance map tile as the objective room. Roll a special Hold Back the Darkness test. Ignore all depth events. If failed, the darkness marker is not moved, but instead there's an epic threat there waiting for you that must be defeated in order for you to escape. If this test is successful, the coast is clear and the heroes are able to burst through the castle gates, escaping without incident. There is immediate dread. For this mission, growing dread cards are revealed immediately when drawn rather than being placed on the stack. Usually, growing dread cards will be placed on a stack that you will have to deal with once you get to usually the main objective, but not in this case. This brings us to the objective. I must also mention that you cannot flee from this map. Sometimes you can flee if you feel things are getting bad. You can just run and take the failure loss. In this one we cannot because we're of course trapped inside this fortress. So our objective here is to find the fortress entrance and escape. Anytime a new map tile is placed, move the hero party marker as normal and then roll a 2d6. This roll may not be re-rolled. If the roll is equal to or higher than the current position on the hero party marker on the depth track, the heroes have found the fortress entrance. You can ignore any gate icons on the exploration token for the map tile just placed. If there is an exploration token, as it has only one exit leading from the fortress entrance map tile as the final objective room. This then uses the dangerous escape special rule. However, once the heroes escape after defeating the enemies in the last normal map tile placed and or for the dangerous escape special rule, the mission is successful and we complete it. And then we're going to gain some rewards, or if we don't, we're going to gain some failures, and we'll look at those when we actually get to that point. I do want to mention that if we look at our depth track, it's going to take us a little while to get there. Our depth track starts at 15, so we're going to have to go all the way until we get to here before we even have a chance at getting through and finding that entrance. So we're going to have to at least make it a little bit into this, and hopefully get a good roll right about here and it'll be all done. Otherwise, who knows, we might be going all the way down. Oh my gosh, it'll be absolutely terrible. Oh my goodness, this is going to be lots of fun. I'm really excited for this adventure. And with that, let's take a look at the two characters that were knocked out and are going to be brought back to life. Here's Kasumi. She was able to be revived from her unconscious state thanks to her friends. There's a couple things here that are not on her character sheet we need to remember, which I think caused part of my downfall in the last video. First off, that's not 10 sanity, that's 13. She got that from a level up. She also has +2 to her spirit, giving her a total of 3 based on some of the cards and also potential level ups that she's also received along the way. She has +1 here from this, and I think she got one in +1 here. So here's our +2 right there. Okay, we got it. Then we also have +1 luck. So our luck skill is actually at a 3, which that I believe is something we got from, I'm guessing, a level up of some kind, because she is level 2. She does have 830 experience points and has 590 gold as well as 2 darkstone, which after each mission we do have to roll to see if that's corrupting us, but we're not going to in this one because I'm just going to say that these characters were downed and then brought back from the other group, so they're not actually going back to a city, which is why I'm not going to do the roll. Technically I probably should, but that's okay. We're having a great thematic experience here. Remember, gaming is all about just having fun. Just because you're not doing a couple things doesn't mean it's the end of the world, and especially for Shadows of Brimstone, because there's so much going on. This game has so much, it's just awesome. This is Shintaro. He also is going to be able to start with 1 grit, and when they do come back for the next mission, they do start with their full standing health, even though they were all downed in the last one. Things you're not going to have on this because of things we've bought or leveled up is he does have +1 lore and +1 agility to his skills up here if we ever have to use them. One is, I believe, from here, and the other one is, I think, is from a level up of some kind. The next thing you have to know is that he has a key-centered wrap, which he can spend 1 key point, which he's going to be gaining a lot, to be able to heal 1 sanity. He also is holding 8 of these dark stones inside of a Tansu chest, and it can hold up to 8 of these without having to take any type of corruption hits. Along with that, he has 16 total health and 13 sanity based on level ups or some type of other means of gaining these through our adventure so far. He is going to be our lantern holder because it's pretty cool that his miniature actually has the lantern on it, so I always make him the lantern holder. Coming to our ill-fated heroes rescue, one of them is going to be our sorceress, Yuri. Yuri we used when Colin played with me as well, and this time she is coming back to, again, be part of our adventure. She is our sorceress. She does have a couple fire spells right here, and she has taken the fire as her elemental focus, so she's able to get +1 to her rolls with fire, so she's got +1 to these, and of course she has her elemental blast as well. She's going to, I left this out here so we can always remember how this all works. There's a lot going on with this character, which is super cool. She has a couple bandages and a potion here. She also has Blood of the Dragon. It says at the start of your activation each turn, heal D3 wounds, and I am immune to poison. We decided to give that to her. She also has her Raku Demon Bag here, which allows her to roll a D6 at the beginning of the adventure to gain that many arcane powders. And these arcane powders can be spent to add +1 to a die roll after the die rolls have been rolled to see if you're able to get some of your spells to fire off. On top of that, she has a +1 to her strength, which is because of, I don't even know why. She got +1 strength. I have it written down. All this stuff is written down on these sheets. That's why you're hearing me kind of read off screen. I have everything written from all the things that happened to these people. She has, no, she doesn't. I lied. She does not have +1 strength. She has +1 health and +1 sanity, and that's both because she has a kimono as her extra she bought at the store at one point in time. That's one thing about Shadows of Brimstone I really wish they would do, is allow cards to be made for all the things you can buy in town, so you could have those with your characters, because writing them down on sheets of paper, I guarantee you I have a tendency to miss this all the time. She also has 1 arcane research, which is a point she can use at some point during her leveling up or something of that nature. She only has 170 experience points, but she does have 490 gold, which is pretty sweet. Our final character that has helped our survivors is going to be our samurai warrior. And you know what? I'm going to have him tell you all about who he is and why he's named the name he is.
For many years I traveled this land, slaying demons, battling evil, never knowing who I truly was, waiting for the day that a sign would be given to me to reveal my true name. Then one day it happened. Battling a demon on the shores of a great lake, I struck a decisive blow, launching the head far, far above the lake. As it splashed down, it came back up. Then I was struck as if from a sign from the gods, like a thunderbolt to the brain. My name was Bob.
I would like to thank William over at Hungry Gamer for that great intro for our character. So this is, well, you got it, Bob. This is Bob, our samurai warrior. He does have some cool things going on. On top of everything you see out here, he also has a marching boots, which are going to give him +1 move and +2 if he used a grit in order to do it, which he should have started with right there. We all get to start with 1 grit when we begin our adventure. I believe Kasumi is also missing her grit. She'll take that as well. He has some pretty cool abilities here. He does get to re-roll all of his failed armor rolls. He gains +2 combat for 1 attack, but of course he has to use his 4 fury. He's going to gain fury based on whenever he's able to wound a hero, he's going to gain fury. It says anytime you do 1 or more wounds to an enemy with a combat hit, gain 1 fury token. So he'll be gaining those tokens. His other ability he has here is shoulder charge. Let's put them together so they're easier to find and easier for me to forget. Which gives our heroes +1 defense rolls at the end of their turn as long as they're adjacent to each other. Of course, that also is going to cost me 4 fury. Other than that, everything you see out here is what he has. He's got some really cool abilities, especially this Amulet of Jin right here. I can break this and discard it to immediately give our hero party a revive token. Oh, I wish we so had one of those in our last game. He does have a fire sake up here in his bag that he can use to gain some fury if he needs it. Bob here does have 140 experience points and 390 gold. So it's 340 gold, I apologize. He's pretty super excited to be part of this adventure again. Let's get this adventure starting off just in the Shadow of Brimstone way by injuring our characters. We're going to injure them because at the end of our last adventure we failed, so we're going to give our characters some injuries because they woke up and now they have to deal with what they have. We're going to start with Shintaro, our monk. Our monk got a 7. That's going to mean that our monk has concussion. It says that let's hear, your ears are ringing a little and you have a headache that won't quit. You are -1 initiative roll and 1 less die on your skill test, and at the start of the next adventure, the injury is automatically removed. Okay, so we're going to have to deal with that for this adventure. Not a big deal. Let's see what Yuri gets for a roll. She got a 9. She has a broken collarbone. It says right here, not particularly debilitating, but it sure hurts. You find yourself cringing a lot from the pain. You are -1 max grit. She can only ever get 2 max grit. Now, if I wanted to, now that I know those injuries are, I could use this Scribe's Ink if I want. Once per adventure, when a hero rolls an injury or madness, you are allowed to re-roll the dice. I think we're going to be okay with what I got, and I had to actually choose to use that when I rolled the dice, so I couldn't see what Kasumi's roll was before I decided to use it on Shintaro anyway, but that's okay. Those are the injuries that our characters have. I'll have to try to remember that. We'll start by placing our heroes out on the map. We have, of course, Yuri right here. She's our sorceress, all ready to go. I think we'll just start all 4 of them right in the middle. Now, it says I could start them anyway, but I think we're okay where we are. We do have Bob, our samurai, as I throw him on the ground. He's right here. He's pretty cool looking. I really like the way these guys all turned out. I'm really a big fan of the Shadow of Brimstone miniatures. I think they're really neat. Of course, you do have to assemble them all and, of course, paint them yourself. But once you get them done, it's pretty satisfying. Here's Shintaro, our monk. Like I said, he's holding, well, actually supposed to be his bell, which is kind of cool. But I like to pretend he's also holding that lantern as well. Then we have, of course, Kasumi, who would never be holding a lantern because she's a ninja. And she'd be running around with a lantern. That'd be pretty ridiculous. So here she is. She's ready to go. We'll put her in the middle as well, fully healed and ready to go. Our characters are sweetness. But whenever we start, we have to start by holding back the darkness. But before we do, I have to roll my Roku demon bag. So we'll do that and hold back the darkness. And where we sit right now, our hold back the darkness roll is a 7+. Let's see how many arcane powders Yuri gets. Yuri's going to get 4. All right, that sounds pretty awesome. She has 4 of those. Now we're going to hold back the darkness. I need a 7+. Oh, look at that. We got a 12. So those are double 6s. Something is going to happen. Let's check it out. Our double 6s are a stubborn resolve. This place is horrible and unforgiving, but we're not even about to give up without a fight. Each hero may immediately heal D6 sanity or wounds any mix, or recover 1 grit. KO'd heroes immediately recover, rolling for their injury or madness and healing 2d6 wounds. So that's fantastic. Man, I really wish I would have got it at a different time. I will still take it. Everybody's going to be able to gain 1 grit, except, of course, for Kasumi because she has that injury. We'll now move into initiative order. The order everybody's going to be moving in is first it's going to be Kasumi, then it's going to be Shintaro, followed by Yuri, and the final person to go is going to be Bob. But Bob and Yuri both share a 3 initiative, so we could decide which we want to go to, except for one problem. I've got -1 initiative because I'm wearing this armor for my samurai. So he is going to be going last no matter what. We need to roll to see how far we're able to move. We'll start with her and see how it goes here. I got a 5, which means we're going to get a total of 6 because she is nimble. It gives her +1 move. On top of that, you may move through other models and you automatically pass all escape tests. She's got a lot of abilities here, which are really cool. And the one we're referring to right now is this nimble one. She also does start with a ninja class, which you already did, and she's also deadly. Your combat hits ignore any armor an enemy has, and you are also +1 damage while your target is the only enemy adjacent to you. And she's a silent fighter, so she can't use guns at all. Once per turn, you may reroll any number of your defense rolls just made. So she's got a lot of really cool things going on for her. But she does get the +1 move, which is more important right now. Unfortunately, there's not too many places she needs to go. She's going to move, I think she's going to go 1, 2, 3 up to there. That way she can now look into the next room. And she's going to gain 5 experience points for that. That's how you gain experience in this game, is doing a lot of different things. You can either scavenge in room and find experience points. You can kill enemies. You can scout. You can heal. There's so many different ways to gain experience points. It's really cool. But you also have to keep track of it, which I do on a separate piece of paper to the side. When you peer into a room, you're going to draw the top card of the Shadows of Brimstone deck here and see what we have found. We have found a dojo. I think I find a dojo every time I play. On top of that, we are going to move up our track here. Now, I know we're supposed to roll at the beginning of every turn to see if we're able to find the exit, but I'm not even going to start rolling until we get to this 12. Oh, imagine if we got the double 6s when we were here. That would have been so good. But alas, that is not how it works out. So I did move this up 1. We'll place down our tile and see what happens. I do want to mention the reason this card is here is because our instructions tell us to remove this from the deck, which is why I just placed it here. So I'm going to also place this here. This is now our discard pile. I'm going to remove this and move it off screen for the rest of the game. Let's place out our dojo. I know we moved off the board up, but for camera purposes, I've decided to just place it in this direction. I also want to mention when you do move, you can move diagonal through areas as long as it's not protruding out through the wall. So as you notice, this is not protruding, but this one does. So you can't move diagonal through here, but I could move diagonal from there. Now that I've peered into this room, I'm going to place down one of our exploration tokens into that room. Doesn't matter where you place it. And when it goes to the next phase, which is going to be our exploration phase, we'll find out. But of course, our characters all get to move and do stuff first before this exploration marker is revealed, which is kind of interesting. So you could actually get into this room, and if it's a fight, you might be right in the middle of the combat. Who knows? Or who knows? It might actually just be an ambush where there's guys everywhere. So we do still kind of want to stay together. Let's move to our next hero's turn. That's going to be Shintaro. Shintaro is going to move. He's going to roll to see how far he goes. He got a 1. So that means he's able to gain a grit. Now, sadly, he already has 2 grit, so he's going to spend the grit that he just got to increase his movement value by the number shown. He got another 1, so that means he doesn't get another grit, and I wonder if I even want to do move. I think I'm going to stay right where I am, and at this point, being in this room, I can choose to scavenge. You can scavenge once for every 2 players. So if I was playing a 2-player game, I could only scavenge once. If I'm playing a 3-player game, I could scavenge twice. 4 players twice, and 5 you can scavenge 3 along with 6 to 3 as well. But we're only going to have 4 characters, so we can scavenge each room twice. How that works is we're going to roll 3d6. And for every 6 I roll, I have found something. So let's see if we find anything. We found one thing. Since we did successfully scavenge a room, I am going to place this token into this room to prove that we have done one scavenge attempt there. And we're going to draw a scavenge card from our scavenge deck, which is this deck right here. This deck does not change in number of cards, and what you do is give it a good old truffle shuffle, and then we're going to draw the top card from this deck, and we're going to have to deal with it. Let's see what we have found. We have found nothing here. There's nothing here. This room appears to have nothing of value. That makes perfect sense because that's where we found ourselves. But he is going to gain 10 experience points for that. Along with the 10 experience points, he's going to start gaining key tokens. It says right down here, the key tokens represent the traveling monk's ability to channel their pure life energy to enhance their abilities as listed on their hero character sheet and some upgrades. As noted on the hero character sheet, the traveling monk gains 1 key at the start of each turn. So I'm just going to start placing key tokens over here so I don't overlap a lot of his abilities so I can hopefully remember them. He can use his key tokens normally to either heal people or to give himself more damage when he attacks. Moving into Yuri's turn, a couple things I want to mention is normally I'm not going to be rolling dice all over the board like this. When we go to combats, they'll be all done on my dice tray, but since we're here, I just want to show it so close to the map. The scavenge deck also I want to mention does not have a discard pile, so every turn you scavenge, you give it a good old truffle shuffle, and you see what happens. We're going to see how far she can move now. We'll roll up her die. She got a 3, so she's able to move. I think she's going to go just 1 right here. The reason I'm doing that is because our characters cannot walk through people, so they're going to have to walk around them. And I want Bob up here in case there's a combat because he's got like armor and all that. I mean, why wouldn't you want him up there? So she's going to hang back a little bit, but she is going to try to scavenge again inside this room. So she'll roll 3d6, and if she gets any 6s, she got another 6, which means we will place 1 more scavenge token down, which means we can no longer scavenge this room anymore. The most you can scavenge it is 2. So like I said, we'll give our good old deck a truffle shuffle here and draw our top card and see what we have found. Again, nothing, but I do get my 10 experience points for Yuri. It is now Bob's turn. Let's roll our die and see how far he can roll. Move. He can move 2, 1, 2. That's absolutely hilarious. That's kind of where I wanted him. I was hoping to get him farther in the room, but 2 is not really. Oh, he does get +1 move. See, I'm already forgetting things on our character sheets. I really wish they would have cards for me. That would really help me out. But Bob does have +1 to his movement because of his marching boots that he has. So he does get 1 more move. He's going to move into that room. Hopefully that'll get some monsters to attack him. Let's check out now. Going into the next phase is going to be our revealing our exploration token. Let's reveal our token and see what we found in our room. We have found an attack. And look, there's an exclamation point. So we're going to start this game off with a bang. So with that exclamation point, that means according to the rules of our scenario, we're going to be drawing 2 cards and having to deal with them. And the threats we're going to be dealing with are medium threats because we do have 4 characters, which is absolutely awesome. So let's give this a good old truffle shuffle here and draw our threats out and see what we have found. Our first one we have found is going to be a, what is this, Anago, I'm totally saying that wrong, I apologize, apparition. It's weakened. This Anago is -1 combat and has only its base health. It does not gain extra health per hero. Do not draw a trait card. Okay, so we're going to have to deal with that character. On top of that, our other one we're going to have to deal with is going to be, let's give it a truffle shuffle here and see what it is. Oh boy. All right. It is going to be, what's this? D3 Oni. Oh my gosh, these are super powerful creatures. So we start off with probably two of the worst cards you're probably going to get. But that's okay. Let's go get our miniatures, put them on the board, and let's start our battle. We have our Anago, but we also have to see how many Uni. We have to roll a D3 here. And we got a 2, which is going to be, I think that's going to be 1. We only have to deal with one of these guys. Oh my goodness, here they are. The Uni are out here, and 1 is probably going to be good enough for us. So we'll place him down on the board. Now, these do have to go in initiative order, but also from the one with the least amount of initiative to the one with the most amount of initiative. And since there's only 2, this is the least amount of initiative, and she's got the most out of the 2 enemies. So you have to put them in checkerboard pattern, but since we only have 2, they're just going to sit right back there. Let's go ahead and take a look at our enemies. Here's our Uni. He's a monster. He has 5 movement. It costs me 4+ to escape if I ever want to try to break away from him. All enemies are going to have these exact type of stats. So at least I'm going to talk through one of these, but after that I'm just going to probably say some numbers. It needs a 4+ when it attacks me. It rolls with only 2 dice. So if it ever needs to make an attack, it would roll 2 dice. It needs a 4 better to hit. If it does 5 damage, which is out of control. It has a defense of 3. So unless I critically hit it to ignore, have an attack that ignores defense, I would have to break through the defense with my damage in order to actually start hurting its health, which it has 15. Now the experience points down here is a little bit different from some of the other characters that you're going to be fighting. The experience says 10 plus 5. So every wounding hit that you do during that round is going to give you 10 experience points, but then you're going to do 5 experience points for every damage you do. That's how it works from what I understand. They kind of FAQ'd that a little bit, so it's kind of a little bit back and forth between some of the additions. It does have Terror 1, so any hero starting on their activation on the same map automatically takes 1 horror hit, which I'll have to save with my willpower. On top of that, it has Bash. If I'm ever hit by the Oni, I'm going to get knocked back, and if I'm ever knocked back off of the map or into a wall of some kind, I'm going to take D6 wounds that are going to ignore defense. If that happens, we'll look into that rule a little bit more. It has 3 initiative, and it is, of course, large. And the keywords for it are Myth and Demon, which is going to play into this game because Myth is something our Traveling Monk is a huge fan of. Any Myth creatures that he attacks gets +1 damage to them. Hopefully I'll remember that. I didn't do a very good job in the last video. Remember that. I think I missed it a few times. The next enemy we have is our Anago. I hope I say that right. I probably don't. I apologize. Again, another myth creature. It's also a ghost and undead, but I don't think that's going to play into anything. It has 4 initiative, which means it is going to go before Shintaru. Shintaru also has a 4 initiative, and the monsters will always go before you. 3 movement. It takes me a 5+ to escape, and it is going to attack with 4. That needs a 4 melee. Notice it has 3 combat dice, but according to our card we drew, it's going to be at -1 combat, and instead of getting 20 health and 5 per hero, it only has 20 health, so it has 2 combat dice doing 3 damage each. Again, the 3 defense we have to get through to try to get through those 20 HP. Notice this one has Terror 3, which means a hero starting on the activation will have to take 3 horror hits, and yes, those do stack. So on top of the 3 from that one, we are going to have to take the 1 from this one. So with those 2 monsters on the board, we have 4 we have to deal with right off the top if you stand in the room and attack these guys. Held aloft, it's going to move through models and change its target each turn. Normally when a target has gone up to its person it's attacking, it will not change its targets, but according to this one, it will. It does have animated hair. At the end of this enemy's move, every hero within 3 spaces takes D6 hits that do 1 damage each. That's out of control. That's from all this spiky hair flying out of here. It has barbed hooks. A hero that takes 2 or more wounds from a Anago's animated hair gains the ensnared marker. We do not want that. That's bad. Spectral horror. This enemy does +1 damage on all of its hits against a hero with spirit 2 or lower. If we look at all of our characters, the spirit for all of them is 2 or more, except on Bob and Kasumi. They both have only 1 spirit and 2 spirit. Though, actually, I lied. Our assassin Kasumi has 3 because she does have +2 spirit because of her 2 items that she has. But sadly, poor old Bob does not have more than 2 spirit, so he's going to be in big trouble here. Starting our second turn, we're going to try to hold back the darkness and see how that goes. We got a 6. It did not get held back. we'll move our depth track up 1. And if we do ever land on these, we'll be drawing darkness cards. And if we ever land on any of these, we'll be adding those growing dread cards. And remember, according to this scenario, we're going to flip those over immediately and have to deal with them. Growing dread cards can be canceled if every person decides to spend 1 grit. You can cancel a growing dread card either before it's revealed or after it's revealed. The reason it matters if it's before it's revealed, because you could be gaining these before you get to that objective room at the end, and people, when they all get enough, they could do it then. But since we are not going to be not revealing them, we're going to have to decide the minute it's revealed if we're going to want to get rid of it or not, based on if we have grit. Kasumi has 6 initiative, so she'll start. We'll roll to see how far she's able to move. She got a 5, and she is nimble, so she got 6. She'll be able to move 1, 2, 3. She's going to stop right there for just 1 moment. She's not done, but she's going to stop right there. She's going to be throwing a shuriken. Free attack. You're able to do free attacks, instead, if they are free, once per fight. I can use a range of 5, 2 shots. May be used at any time during your move, but not while adjacent to an enemy. And only stealth characters can have this, and of course our assassin is a stealth character. So at this point, I'm within range 5, 1, 2, 3 of that Oni. I'm going to shoot that Oni. Of course, I forgot to do my willpower saves. I have to do those when we go over to make this shot, because I did start in, when you're in a puzzled room here, when it kind of connects like that, you are considered to be in both of these rooms. So she had to take the Terror 3 and the Terror 1 from her, so she has to make a willpower 4 save against 4 willpower hits, or sanity hits, I apologize. But then she's going to make this attack, 2 shots. She's going to try to hit that Oni. With a willpower of 4, I need to roll 4 or better on these dice in order to block myself from some of the attacks. I got 3 of them. That's amazing. So she's only going to take 1 sanity damage, and that's all that's going to happen for those. That's awesome. Now she's going to do her attacks. She's going to have to hit a range attack of 4+ with 2 dice, because she's able to take 2 shots with those shurikens. So let's roll up those dice. Oh, she got a 6. That is a critical hit, so it is going to bypass the Oni's defense. So she's able to do D6 damage to that Oni without it having to deal with its defense. Let's see how much damage we did. We did 5 damage. That's fantastic. That's a third of its health. I kind of wish I went after her now. That was such a good hit. I'm going to continue moving. 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, maybe 5 to right there. I think that will be where I'm going to attack from. No, I think I'll stand right in front of an attack, because if it hits me and knocks me back, I'm only going to be knocked back this way. I'm not going to be knocked back into a wall. That'd be bad news city. So we're going to stop right there and try to hit this guy. We have our ninjatu. Our ninjatu here says here, your combat hits are critical hits on a hit of 5+. And she has 2 combat dice, so she'll be rolling 2 dice, and hopefully we can do some more damage to it. Now remember, every wound I'm doing there is 5 experience points. So right now, this character has 25 experience points, plus the 10 for actually making the wounding hit. So she's have 30 experience points already just from that first attack. For these to hit, I need a 3+. Let's see how we do. I've got a 4 and a 5. That's perfect. Now remember, this is going to be a critical because of my weapon, the ninjatu. But this is also a critical because of my deadly ability. It says your combat hits ignore any armor an enemy has. So I guess they're not critical, they just ignore the armor. Also, I get +1 damage while the target is the only enemy adjacent to you, and that Oni is the only enemy adjacent to me. So let's see how much damage we're able to do to him. I could almost kill him right here if I get it. I got 10. That's enough. This guy's going down. I took that Oni out in 1 hit. This would be 12 total damage. Of course, he only has 10 left. Wow, she took out the Oni by herself. I was super worried about these guys, but now that was the easier of the 2. We'll see what happens now when this Harinago activates. So everybody understands the experience that we're getting from this Oni. The way it works is that for every wounding attack, I'm going to get 10 experience points. And I'm going to get 5 for every wound. So the original shuriken was a wounding attack that gives me the 10 experience points. Then that attack right there with my ninjatu was another wounding attack, which is going to give me another 10 experience points. Plus, on top of that, I'm going to get another 15 times 5. So I've got an astronomical amount of experience. So we'll remove the Oni from the board. And from what I understand, she just got 95 experience from killing that thing, which is pretty sweet. Now this one is going to activate next. It has a 4 initiative, and this character also has a 4 initiative, but enemies always go first. So I'm going to roll a die and see who it's going to attack. We're going to roll a D8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see who it's going to attack. It's going to attack 7. So if it can make it there, it's going to get there. Otherwise, it's going to go to somewhere. Well, it only has a movement of 3. 1, 2, 3. It can't get to anybody but her. So it's going to move over here and attack. 1, 2. And it's always going to try to get behind the person, even though it doesn't matter. It's always, so that way, like if you had a lot of enemies out here, they try to encircle us and try to swarm us. So this one is going to stop right here and attack. I didn't realize it only had 3 movements, so the roll was actually in, it doesn't matter what this roll is, because it's going to go to a random person that it could actually reach. And with a movement of 3, it's not going to get too far. Now there's a lot of stuff that's happening with this character, so let's go take a look. The first thing it has is its animated hair. At the end of the enemy's movement, every hero within 3 spaces takes d6 hits that do 1 damage each. So 1, 2, 3, Bob is in range, and so is her. And sadly, Bob is also a character that has, this enemy does +1 damage to all its hits against a hero with 2 spirit or lower, and he only has 2 spirit. Oh, so sad. The red die will be Bob, and the white die is going to be Kasumi. Bob only has 1 hit. Oh, Kasumi only has 2. That's awesome. So we have to try to go against our defense, which Kasumi's defense is going to be only 4, but Bob's is a 3. So again, we'll roll these dice and see how it goes. He got a 3 or better, so he was able to block one of the hits. She got a 4 or better on only 1. So that means she is going to take 1 damage from those hair hits, which means, well, it's only 1, so 1's not too bad. We'll take it. Now, of course, the thing is going to attack her. So we'll take 2 combat dice, roll them up, see how it goes. It got a 4 and a 2. It needs a 3 in order to hit. So it did hit with 1 attack. I get to try to block it now with my defense. My defense is a 4, so I need a 4 or better in order to block this. And I got a 4, so we were able to block it, so we took no damage from her, which is absolutely awesome. A hero that takes 2 or more wounds from the Hirinago's hair gains ensnared. That's not going to happen. Sorry, that was off camera. It's right here, her barbed hair. I do not get an ensnared token because I only took 1 damage. And that's the end of her. We got the whole rest of our group now to try to take her down. We'll start with Shintaro. He's going to gain one of those key tokens at the beginning of his turn. Then we'll roll to see how far he can move. He can move a total of 4 spaces. One thing I can do if I want to is I can spend key tokens for movement and gain 2 extra moves for each key token spent. If I do, you may move through other models during your movement, which is going to be super cool. I forgot that our assassin is nimble, and she can also move through other models as well. I think that's one of the reasons I picked this one, is because normally these two travel together and they both could be running through. Also, once per turn, you may re-roll 1 failed defense roll. So that's another thing that this character does. See, lots of stuff going on in this game, so you're guaranteed to always miss a couple things, but I try my best to remember them all. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and remember that card I just showed you? I'm going to spend 1 key token, be able to give myself 2 movement. I'm going to move 1, 2 to right here and attack her from there. There is a reason for that, and that's because he's going to use his monk staff. And it says at the end of each turn, you may heal 1 wound from every other adjacent hero. So he can't ever do it to himself, but he could heal the wound that Kasumi has taken. Also, if equipped, double-handed, your combat hits may use the D8 for damage. And we're going to do that because we don't have anything else we're holding in our hands. Also down here, notice I could upgrade this if I want to, but I don't have anything that can upgrade this yet. But as we go, we could maybe get some items or cool-looking artifacts that can upgrade some of these neat items. I have 2 combat, so I'm going to roll 2 dice, and I need a 4+ in order to hit this monster. Let's see how we do. Oh, I got a 5 and a 4. That's fantastic. So 2 hits. Now, sadly, neither of them are critical hits, but I do get to roll a D8 and subtract 3 from it because that's its defense. Well, I got a 1 for my first one, so that was terrible. I could use a grit if I want to re-roll that die, and maybe that's not a bad idea. I've got a lot of these grit tokens. What's the worst that could happen here? I could probably get a worse number. I got a 6, so -3. That's still going to do 3 damage to that creature. Now we'll roll our other D8 for our other hit, and we got an 8. Oh my gosh. So we got 3 plus 8 minus 3 is 5. So we did a total of 8 damage to that monster. So the monster's health goes from 20 to 12. We'll put that damage right there next to her so I can remember. On top of that, I get to heal 1 wound from our assassin for standing next to him. You get 5 experience points whenever you heal a character. So he's doing fantastic right now as well. He's got a lot of experience from here, and he also healed that character. So that's a total of 55 experience points just from that one little maneuver there. We'll move into Yuri's turn. She'll roll her dice to see how her movement is. She got a total of 2. She'll move 1, 2. That's totally fine. She's a ranged character, so from where she is, that's actually going to be fantastic. To draw a line of sight now, I'm going to have to go from center of the square to the center of the enemy square, and characters don't block line of sight, so I'm doing just fine. Walls and obstacles are really the only thing that do in this game, so I'm not too worried about it. And even if I did have to worry about Bob, it would cross right here is where the actual cross point of that would be. I played tons and tons of hero clicks, so I'm really good at figuring out line of sight when it comes to actually doing diagonals and things on gridded squares like this. It was, which Hero Clicks is a fantastic game, by the way. That, of course, is not the game we're playing. We are playing Shadow of Brimstone. I get to start with 4 mana at the beginning of my turn. I get to automatically get the mana back. And you spend your mana to cast spells. And you can cast as many spells as you want, but you can't cast the same spell twice as long as you have mana for it. And since we have 4 mana, we could start by casting our Elemental Blast here. It uses 2 mana to fire an Elemental Blast your ranged attack. This counts as a spell with the same keyword as your magic focus element, which is fire, but no casting roll is needed. So it's basically an auto, you don't have to, when you do cast spells, I should mention you do have to actually beat the number of that spell in order for it to actually go off, or it doesn't go off. This one you don't have to do that for. It is going to be a range of 8, and I only get 1 shot, but each hit rolled counts as D3 hits on the target. A critical hit rolled counts as a D3 critical hit, so this could do an absolute monstrous amount of damage. Let's see how we do. I only get 1 shot, and I need a 4 or better with my ranged attack, and I got a 5, so that does hit. So we have to see how many wounds it does. It's going to do D3 hits, so let's see how many hits it's going to do. It's going to do 3 hits. That's out of control. Let me show you again how this is going to work. So for each hit counts, roll D3 hits on the target. So I hit, I did D3 hits. Now we have to see, oh, a critical hit rolled counts as D3 critical hits. Oh my gosh, I got, now sadly I did not get D3 critical hits. I only got a 5, so those aren't going to be critical hits, but I get to do 3 hits. So I'm going to roll 3 dice and see how much damage this thing takes. It's going to take a total of, well, though that's going to be blocked. This is all going to be blocked by her armor, so I only did 6 damage. Only! I don't know why I'm saying only, because that's really, really good. So I did 6 damage because, of course, it will block 3 because of its armor, since I didn't roll the initial 6 to see if I hit it. So when I hit it, I got a 5. Just want to make sure you understand how this goes. So I hit it with a 5. So now that I've hit it, I'm going to do D3 hits to it, which is roll a 6, which is going to be 3 hits. Then those 3 hits are going to do this damage. Now, of course, this is going to be blocked, and those are all going to be only be 3 each. So it has taken 14 of its 20 wounds, and our sorceress Yuri got 40 experience points for that attack. I still have 2 more mana tokens left, which I can regenerate at the beginning of my turn. And we have 2 other spells we could cast. We have Dragon Fire, which costs 3, so I can't do that one. But check this out. I've got Fireball. I'm going to use this as a ranged attack, range 8. Choose a space within range and line of sight and roll once to hit. If missed, it's going to bounce D3 times like a bomb. Any model in the final space takes D6 wounds ignoring defense, while every other model in an adjacent space takes D3 wounds ignoring defense. Oh, maybe I don't want to cast this. I don't want to hit my friends. We're not going to cast that spell. I lied. We're just going to keep our 2 mana and move on to our next character. Let's see what Bob can do. Bob's going to roll to see how far he's able to move here. He rolled a 2, which means he's able to move up 2. Now he also has to take 3 horror hits because this character is in the same tile that it started its movement in. Or I should say turn, not movement. Sorry, he started his turn. That's why he has to take horror hits. Oh, I took a lot to get that out. Bob has 4 willpower, so he's going to have to roll a 4 better to stop these sanity hits. He only stopped 1, so he's going to take 2 sanity damage. We'll bring that back with his card once we move it back there. I do have 2 combat here, so I'm going to be able to roll 2 dice to see if I can hit this Harionago, but I do get to add +1 because of my Warrior's Katana here. I also get to do +1 damage if I want to spend 2 Fury, but I don't have any Fury. I don't have any Nick Furies. So we're going to roll these up and see how we do. I need a 4 or better. Wow, I missed with everything. Okay. That's what grit's for. I'm going to spend a grit to re-roll all of these. That was ridiculous. There, we got a 6. Okay, only hit once, but the 6 is going to be a critical hit, which means it's going to go through her defense. Let's see how much damage we do against her. We did 4 more damage. Oh, I think we're really close. Bob is going to gain 1 Fury token, and anytime you do 1 or more wounds to an enemy in a combat hit, I gain 1 Fury, so I'm going to put that down here. I'm kind of putting all my tokens right down here because I keep taking this card and using it in the dice tray so everybody sees everything going on instead of placing all my tokens on like you normally would. Our Harionago now has 18 damage. Most likely we could hopefully take her out this next turn. That's the end of the round. We'll go back to Hold the Darkness. I need a 7 or better to hold it back, and we've got an 8, so we're able to hold it back. We'll move into our assassin's turn, so Kasumi's going to go first. Kasumi's going to take 3 horror hits because that sorcerer, because the Harinago is in our same square. I have a 4 willpower. Let's see how oh my gosh, I didn't stop any of them. I'm going to take 3 sanity. She's already up to 4 sanity attack wounds that she's already taken. That's really bad. Oh no, we got to try to heal that somehow. We'll move into her combat move now, but first we have to move. You always have to roll your move, even though you're next to a person. I got 2, which gives me a total speed of 3. This is where I'm now going to be a little tricky. With my nimble ability, I am able to move through other models and you automatically pass escape tests. So I'm going to move 1 over here and then I am going to throw my shurikens again. Now, the funny thing is you're going to say, but that's once per fight. You're right, it is once per fight. But I've got my assassin's ability. Every character you get to start with picks an ability. And this one says +1 movement and I get once per fight, you may ready an exhausted shuriken item. So I'm going to unexhaust my shuriken and throw it again. And on top of that, I have failed miserably. I'm actually supposed to have +2 speed, not +1, because I get the +1 from nimble and I get +1 from running assault. See, so many things I got to try to keep track of. So sorry about that. But now I'm able to attack her. So I'm going to throw my shuriken at her. At 1, throw my shuriken, and then 2, move back in and try to hit her with my weapon. I need 4+ with my shurikens and only 1 hit, and it didn't get a critical. So let's see how much damage it does. It does 2, which is not enough to hit it and past its armor. I'm now going to attack with a 3+ melee. I only hit once, but it ignores armor because of my deadly ability. And I've got 5 + 1 is 6, and boom! I was able to take her down. With 6 more health, it only needed 2 more. It is able to be removed from the board with a total of 20 health against it, which is sweet. Now, I don't believe I get the extra carryover damage as experience, so I'm just going to take the 10 + 10 is 20 experience points for taking that character down. At this point, now that we've defeated the enemy, since it's going to go basically to the end of turn, before we do, everybody gets to do what's called catch their breath. Anybody who activated during the turn gets to roll a d3 and heal either sanity or health. I'm going to heal sanity on my assassin. Let's see how that goes. I was able to heal 3 because she rolled a 6. That was bonkers. So we're able to get rid of 3 sanity damage. That was awesome. The other characters haven't been hit except for our samurai warrior, so he's also going to roll a d6 to try to help his sanity as well. Now, since he didn't activate, he gets to roll d6 and heal those wounds, or instead they could also take a grit. Now, he only took 2 sanity during that battle, which is awesome, so he'll heal that. Our other 2 characters could gain a grit. Sadly, our sorceress already has 2 grits, so she can't take any more. But our traveling monk Shintaro is totally going to take a grit because he only has 1. So he's going to gain back 1 of his grit, and we'll move into the hold back the darkness step once again. We do need a 7 or better in order to hold back the darkness, and I got a 10. Kasumi is up first because she's super fast. She's going to roll her movement. She got a 2. That's totally fine. That's a total of 4. She's going to move 1, 2 right over here and to peer into that next room. So we'll draw another Shadow of Brimstone map card and see what we have found. We have found a mid-passage, and it says no exploration tokens is placed here. But that does move up our depth track to 14 now. So we're getting closer to that 12 that I'll be rolling once I get there. We'll see if I ever get there, though. And then we'll place down our passageway. I get another 5 experience points for that. We'll move into Shintaro's turn. He's going to gain one of his key tokens. He's also going to move. Let's see how far he goes. 3, 1, 2, 3. He's going to move to right there. He also then can spend a key token if he wishes to heal sanity. Now, sadly, what I understand is that only works on him, so I couldn't heal the one off Kasumi, which is the one I was hoping to do it on. The next person to go is going to be our sorcerers. Oh, he could scavenge in this room. Let's give it a shot. We'll roll up 3d6 and see if we find anything. We didn't find anything. So since we didn't find anything, we're not going to be putting a scavenge token down. We'll move into the sorcerer's turn. The sorceress got a 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, I do want you to be aware that he is holding the lantern, so he's only able to keep the room that he's in and the one behind him lit. He's not, and if anybody's caught behind them, like say in this room, now lucky for her, she was on the corner spot here, 2, 3, so she was in both rooms. If she was back there, it would be Bad News City. She'd have to deal with horror because she'd be stuck in this darkness. Now where she is, she can roll to see if she's able to scavenge. Let's see if she found anything. She found nothing. Next is Bob. Bob with his super boots. Let's see how far Bob can go. Bob can go 3 + 1 is 4. 1, 2, He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to right here. He's in both of these rooms. He's going to choose to scavenge this room right here, see if he finds anything. He did find one thing. So we'll take our scavenge deck and give it a good truffle shuffle here and see what we have found. There is another thing that I have forgot. After you defeat an enemy, you are supposed to gain a loot token. Each person gains a loot for every card you drew. Now, he found nothing according to his scavenge deck, but we do have to get loot. That was totally my fault. You get a loot card for every card you draw. So we drew 2 cards, so we get to each gain 2 loot cards. Again, this is a deck that does not have a discard pile. So when you take your loot cards, you're just going to give them a good old truffle shuffle, and you're going to pass these out to all of your players that were part of the combat. So we do get our 10 experience points for that, bringing Bob's total up to 40. And now we'll draw our loot cards and see what we have found. We'll start with Kasumi because she is the first one. She is going to gain a dark shard and 20 experience points. She's also going to gain a D3 dark shards and 20 experience points. So she's going to get those 2 cards. I'll place them on her character sheet for now. The next person is going to be Shintaro because he is the next in initiative order. He is going to gain, what's this? This could come in handy. Draw a gear card or an artifact in the other world. Now, we're not in the other world, so we're going to get a gear card. And he's also found a draw an artifact card or a gear card if you're in the other world. Wow, so we got a gear and an artifact. So we're going to take our gear cards. There's a whole ton of them up here. Look at these cards. This stack keeps getting bigger and bigger. Whenever you buy any type of expansions for this game, you're going to gain more gear that you could throw into your gear deck. And of course, you can customize this gear deck to be what kind of ever you want based on what you're playing. I've just been throwing everything we have into it because it's super, super awesome. So I get a gear card. We have found ourselves a dragon helmet. He gets +1 max grit. That is awesome. Now, it is a gear clothing hat. It doesn't have a requirement on it, like it doesn't say something like samurai only, so he can wear this, and he doesn't have anything on his head, so he's super excited about that. He's a big fan of grit. Now, on top of that, he got an artifact, too. That's absolutely super amazing. So we're going to give the artifacts a good old truffle shuffle here and see what we find. Wow, this is super good for him. He has found himself an arcane scroll. When drawn, roll a d6 to see what this scroll holds. Let's see what it holds. So we're going to roll up one of these d6s. This is pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited about this. I got a 6. That's got to be awesome. Let's see what it says here. 3 to 6. Draw a random elemental magical spell to be contained here. The element deck drawn for this based on the roll. I got a 6, so it's fire. Well, that's kind of hilarious. Discard this scroll to use this ability. Automatically cast the spell for free. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what spell I get. We have our deck right here. There's only 4. I believe this could expand with expansions as well, but I only have 4 in this for right now. So he got himself a, what's this, detonate. It takes 10 plus. It only costs 1 to do it. It has a range of 10. He can get 15 experience for firing off. Choose an enemy model within range to mark with magical fire. When this model is killed, it explodes as though it was a bomb had gone off in its space. If the model is an XL or bigger, every model adjacent to the enemy's base is affected. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. All right, we're going to give that to him. He's super excited for that. Now, I think it says I have to give the art of this arcane scroll to him as well. Discard this scroll to use the ability. Yes, so this is going to be just with him as well. So I'll just put that, I'll put detonate right underneath it so it's all set to go. Wow, he is super excited for that. On top of that, he got himself a total of 40 experience points worth of stuff. Whew, I don't think anybody's going to get anything better than that. We'll draw the next loot card for our characters. It's going to be, the next one is going to be our sorceress. She's going to gain, it looks like a dark shard. And she's also going to gain a gear card as well. Wow, that's awesome. She's going to get a gear card. I'm just going to draw the top gear card here and see what we have found. She found an arquebus. That's amazing. 8 shots, 1. You can use a D8 for damage. It does not have a person that can't use this. She's not holding anything, so why doesn't she take this? It's a gear gun rifle. She can use this, I guess. It does D8 for damage. 1 shot. 1 shot better than nothing. So we'll give her that. The last one we have is our samurai warrior. There can't be anything good left in this thing. He found himself a sack of gold for $100, and he found some gold bars for $250. So he got the bucks. He got the bucks. Everybody else got the stuff. Now, once you've drawn all your cards, you do put them all back in the deck. Like I said, it does not have a discard pile. So Kasumi has rolled D6. She got a D3. So she did get 4 total shards. So we'll give her 4 of these dark stone shards. We got a lot of these dark stone shards. We got a ton of them. Then we'll give these two back. He's get his 40 experience points, and he already got his cool stuff. She's got these. She's going to gain a dark stone and a cool thing, so we'll give her one of these and put it right into her bag. And the last person is going to be Bob. Bob is going to get 350 gold and his 20 experience points. With that done, we are going to go to our next round and try to hold back the darkness. We're still looking for a 7+ to hold back the darkness, and we got an 8, so we were able to hold it back. Moving to Kasumi's turn, we'll roll up her movement die. She got a 6, a total of 8. That's out of control, but she's only able to go for all 5 phases. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to go 4 to right there, and she's going to peer into the next room. So let's check out our map card and see what it is. We have, what is this? A koi bridge. Wow, funny. I think we see that a lot too. I do want to mention down here that this is for the advanced. If you were ever playing on an advanced mode, you would automatically get this dark reflections that would happen inside this room. We're not playing on that difficulty yet. Maybe next time, but not for right now. Let's go get our koi bridge and put it down. We placed down our koi bridge just like it shows. And as you notice, again, due to camera limitations here, I want to make sure you're able to be right in on the action. I had to flip the board 180 degrees just to get it so everything was able to fit, because our dojo is still back here and in play because Yuri is still on it. We're going to bump up our track here to 13, which means we're getting closer and closer to being potentially able to find that entrance. We are going to put down an exploration token into there. That's going to be the end of Kasumi's turn. We'll move over to Shintaro. Shintaro is going to roll up his die here. He got a 1, which means he's able to get back grit, but he already has 2 grit, so he can't gain anymore. So he's just going to roll another die for movement. Wow, he is on fire. It's the second time he's done that. So he's going to move 1, 2 spaces to right there. That's actually going to work out okay, because that would be able to make sure that we can get Yuri to come up behind and hopefully make it into this space before the light from the lantern leaves it. He is going to be able to use his search action to try to scavenge inside this room. Let's see what he found. He has found something in that room, so we'll place down one of our scavenge tokens to prove that we've done that in that room, and we'll take our scavenge deck, give it a good old truffle shuffle here, and see if we find anything good. We have found, wow, there's absolutely nothing here. There's nothing in this whole building. Well, it's probably because we killed a lot of things and now we're coming out slowly and slowly. We are going to gain 10 experience points for that, though. Moving over to Yuri's turn, she's going to roll up 1 die and see how well she does. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's running right up next to everybody. She's also going to use her search action to scavenge in this room and see if she finds anything. She has found nothing. All right, Bob, let's go. He needs to roll a pretty big number to get into that room. He got a 6. Oh, that's fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he's going to stop right there as he enters this room, and we're going to have to see. Maybe even 5, 6. I could go right here maybe and see, or maybe 6. I'll move right up to there, so he doesn't have to move too much farther to maybe attack these people. Of course, this could be an encounter. I don't know what it is. Let's check it out. We did find an attack, so we're going to be attacked, and there's only be one way out of this room. If we looked at our last token had 2 ways out, but there was only one other exit from that dojo, so it wouldn't have mattered if I had to cap anything off because I couldn't. There's only one way out. This one, though, only has 1 exit, so we have to look at our koi bridge again and roll to see which one of these is going to be sealed off and which one is going to be the way we can go. We'll roll our d6, and we got a 6, so that means we are going to seal off right across from us that bridge. Right across the bridge, this is sealed off. We can only go in that direction. So we'll place down one of these sealed off areas here, and that will be the end of that. At this point, we are now going to place down our characters, or monsters. Let's see what they are. We'll take our deck, draw our top card, and see what we have found. We have found a peril amount of Tekobaki Spearmen. Let's roll our peril die and see what it is. The peril die is a pretty interesting die. It's got a 4, 5, and 6, and then a 3, and a 4. So you're always guaranteed to get maybe 3 or 4 of these guys, potentially 5 or 6. We have found 3 spearmen. We'll be placing them down in a checkerboard fashion, starting with back here. So we have 1, 2, and the third one is going to be placed right here. So we have 3 Tekobaki Spearmen. All right, let's take a look at their monster card, and then we'll start our next in battle here. And hopefully I knocked some rust off myself. I know in the first battle there's a few things I forgot. 1, he was supposed to get +1 for myth creatures, and 2, our ninja is supposed to be able to ignore armor but not defense, and I ignored the defense on one of our Oni and also on the other monster as well. Remember, it's armor, not defense. They're 2 separate things. For example, I believe these characters have armor, so let's take a look. Here's our spearmen right here. These are not myths, so I can't forget that at least. They do have an initiative 5, which is really good for spearmen. They're faster than everybody in our group except for our ninja. They do have here armor +5, so they're going to be able to. I'm going to be able to ignore that if I'm attacking only one of them with my ninja. But do remember, it is armor, not defense, which is what I made a mistake in earlier. Regeneration heals 2 wounds at the start of each turn. Spears may make a melee attack against a target up to 3 spaces away, even if other models are in between. It retargets each turn if not adjacent to its previous target. Now, even though it does have an attack that can go up to 3 spaces, it will still move its full movement to try to get up to somebody and attack them. It also has Darkstone Ruins. To hit rolls of 6+ are going to do double damage. That is not good. It has a 4+ melee. It rolls 3 combat dice, but only does 2 damage. But remember, that can be doubled. It can be 4 damage. And then here's the 3 defense and 4 health. And this time, when we do kill one, we're going to get 25 experience points. It has nothing to do with how many hits you do or anything like that. Down here, I haven't been showing this. This is the elite chart. We're not using this right now, but if you ever have to place models and you don't have any, then you'd start using this. Or if you've become more powerful in the game, you can start using these to make monsters more powerful and give them different advantages during the game. On top of that, you would get more experience points if you kill characters that have elite on them. So let's go ahead and take these guys on. Before we do, we have to hold back the darkness. We were able to get a 7, so a 7 is exactly what we need to hold this back. At this point, our ninja is going to go, and this is where sometimes it gets a little sticky for me. I might just run her up here and try to attack this guy, but if I do, these guys are going to come in and attack her. And this seems, I think, what happened to her last time. Is I got too bold with her. Let's see what she gets. Well, if she gets a 1, she's not going to be moving too far. So she can move 1 space, but she does get a grit for that, and she can't hold the grit, so she will roll another die. Wow, there you go. Apparently learned from our monk. She's going to move right over to here. She is going to be able to throw her shuriken, though. It has a range of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to attack this spearman right there. I need a 4+ with my shurikens, and I got 2 5s, so both of those are hits. Let's check to see how much damage we're able to do to these spearmen. We need at least to get over a 3. We got a 6 and a 3. The 3 is going to be blocked by their defense. They do have a 3 defense, so that's going to go away. But this one is going to take 3 damage. So for that, they're going to be able to roll 1 die for each damage they're taking and need to get a 5+ in order to block it with their armor. So let's roll these up, and they got nothing. So that spearman is going to take 3 damage, meaning that one has 1 health left. We'll place 3 damage right over there, and now we're going to be moving into the spearman's turn. Each of these spearmen can move 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's not going to be able to get to anybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one also can't get to anybody. So this is the only one that's going to make it to a person, and it can get to 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these two, we'll have to figure it out. Even it's going to be him, odd it's him. Now this game does come with these little tokens you can use to figure out who is randomly chosen, but I like to just use dice because, well, there's so many dice rolling in this game, might as well keep rolling them. So I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 1, 2, 3, so he's going right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. Oh, wait, I forgot. These guys have that special ability where they can hit up to 3 spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 to right here. It could still hit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to randomly go after the next person it can reach, which is going to be this character right here. Now, because of that reach, this character could probably also have been reached too. Let's figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here. 1, 2, 3. It could have. So we have to re-roll this. Wow, this is going to change a little bit here. There's a chance that it could actually hit Shintaro. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is going to go after Shintaro. So he's going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here. And then 1, 2, 3, attack right there. I'm going to bring his damage and put it in the water because nobody can actually stay on the water. Meanwhile, now I have an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for that one right there. And it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right to here and attack her. This one's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and attack him. That was all done randomly. This is absolutely amazing. All 3 of these guys are going to get a chance to hit. So we'll start with that one, then go to that one, and finally end with that one. The first one is going to use its 3 combat dice on Shintaro. Let's see how this goes. It needs a 3 or better. It got 4 or better. I'm sorry, it got absolutely nothing. It totally failed. The next one is going to be going after Kasumi and needs a 4+ as well. Oh no, look at that. 3 hits. They're all hits. So this is going to actually be a critical. Sadly, I can only use grit on my rolls or to help me move or trigger some type of special ability of some kind. I can't use it on our enemies. So these are all going to hit me. So I'm going to swap out the red die for a white die, and I'm going to try to block these with my defense. I do have a 4 defense. This one will be, of course, the crit roll. We need to get that 4 in order to prevent myself from getting damaged. Let's do it. Oh, we got, look at this, a 4 and 2 1s. That's horrible. So we're going to use our grit to re-roll these dice. I only have 1, but we're going to spend it for a good cause. We're going to re-roll these dice. Let's see if we can make it. Oh, no, we did not re-roll the crit. Well, I shouldn't say a crit. It's one that's going to do double damage. So that's going to do 4 damage, because normally it does 2. It's going to do 4 to Kasumi, bringing her health total down to... Well, let's see, she does have an extra 4, so she has a total of 16. Minus 4 is going to be 12. The final person that's going to be attacked is our samurai. Our samurai is going to be attacked. They need to get a 4 or better to hit him. And they got, oh, look at that, another double damage. So we're going to take that white die out and put in the, or sorry, red, replace it with the white. That's the one he needs to get. Now, his defense is a 3, so he has a little bit better chance of doing this. And he did. He blocked both of them, so he's going to take absolutely no damage. The spearmen have all gone, so now it is Shintaro's turn. Shintaro's going to roll his movement die and see how he does. He got a 5, so he is going to move up 1, 2 to right there, and he's going to use that staff to try to hit this one. Shintaro has 2 attacks, so he's going to, or combat I should say, so he's going to roll 2 dice. He needs a 4 or better. He did get 1 4. He's going to roll an 8-sider to see how much damage he does, and he got a 6. They have a defense of 3, so he's going to have taken 3 damage. He does have 5 armor, so he's going to roll 5 plus to see if he's able to stop any of these damages coming in. He's only able to block 1, so he's going to take 2. That one has already taken 3 damage, so he is out. We have taken out one of the spearmen. This spearman will remove from the board. Next, it's going to be Yuri's turn. Yuri's going to roll up her movement die and see how she does. She got a 4, so 1, 2, 3. She's going to move up to there, and now she's actually in the room, so she doesn't have to worry about him losing out to this lantern, but this is a big room, so I'm not too worried about it. And she's now going to use her mana. She's got 4. Let's see what she can do. She could do this right here. I'm going to remove these wound tokens. We don't need those. He's dead. Which is going to put down a flame template that would actually hit those 2 guys probably, but it also hit our friends too, so we don't want to do that. We're going to use our fireball. This is going to be a great time for this. I'm going to choose a space within range and line of sight and roll once to hit. If missed, it bounces D3 times like a bomb. Any model that is in the final space takes D6 wounds, ignoring defense, while the other models in this adjacent space take D3 wounds, ignoring defense. So I'm going to try to just shoot this guy. I'm going to shoot it as far away as I can. And before we do, we actually have to pass a 9+ in order to even cast Fireball, and that will use 2 mana. Yuri needs, of course, a 9+ now in order to do this. So we'll roll up our 2 dice and see what we get. We got a 5 and then a 6. That's an 11. I actually only did an 8 because this is part of her elemental focus. That was fantastic. The spell does go off. Now I have to roll to see if I hit. I need a 4 or better in order to hit. I got another 6. Oh, that's fantastic. So this thing is now going to do D6 damage to a model which ignores defense. So we're going to hit the one in the back for D6 damage. It got 6. Oh, I'm going to keep this die. That die is going to be in a super neat place. We're going to do 6 armor rolls, because even though it ignores defense, it doesn't say it ignores armor. So I'm going to roll these up, and for every 5, I'm going to reduce the damage of this attack. So let's see how many we're reducing it by. Oh my gosh, we're reducing it by 4. So I only did 2 damage to that one in the back. Now I do get to do D3 wounds to anybody adjacent to it, which of course there is one adjacent to it. I'm doing 2 wounds to the one that's adjacent to us. Those wounds are going to be potentially blocked by armor. One is, so we are only going to do 1 wound to that one. We didn't kill any of these. That's too bad. Now that did take 2 of our mana, leaving us with 2 mana left, which we do have our Elemental Blast, but our Elemental Blast is used as a ranged attack. And sadly, this is also used as a ranged attack. And if I'm under the understanding, you can cast as many spells as you have mana for, but you can only make 1 attack during your turn. So I don't think I can cast this spell and my Elemental Blast in the same turn. So I kind of really didn't set this character up the best, but hopefully as she improves in level, I'll be able to kind of adjust and for this error that I kind of made by having 2 things that are both ranged attacks. But that's okay. That's okay. We do have our Dragon Fire, and maybe at some point we'll be able to get more mana. This one costs 3, this one costs 2, so maybe at one point we'll have 5 mana and we'll be able to cast both these spells, because this one is not used as a, oh, this one is a ranged attack as well. They're all ranged attacks. So again, did not pick the best spells, but you know, she's multi-versed in different types of spells that she can use against people with a ranged attack. Super good. Her turn is complete, so we'll move into Bob. Bob is going to attempt to move. He's going to move 4 spaces. So he is going to move 1, and then he's going to attempt to go 2 to right there. In order to do that, he has to make a breakaway roll, and he's going to have to, or escape roll, I'm sorry, and their escape value is 3+. So if I can roll a 3+ on this escape, I can continue my move through. I didn't, I only got a 2, so I am going to have to stop right there. I'm not going to be able to continue that movement, which is too bad. I was really hoping to get here and hit both of them with Bob. But where we are now, I'm going to go ahead and hit that guy. Bob's attack is 3, so he's going to roll 3 dice, see how he does. He needs a 4 or better. He hit twice. Neither of these are going to be critical hits, so they're going to be able to get their defense, which is 3. So we'll roll up and see how much damage we do. We did 6 and 3. The 3 is pretty much gone, but this one is going to do 3 damage. He does get to roll 3. Armor saves against it, though. Let's see how well he does. He's able to block 1. I'm sorry, that's not enough. He's going to take 2 damage. And having already taken 1 wound, he is now off the board as well, and Bob is going to gain himself 25 experience. We have now come to the end of the round, and at this point, our monk staff will now fire off. It says at the end of each turn, which is now at the end of the turn, you may heal 1 wound for every other adjacent character. And both our sorceress and our assassin are adjacent. Our assassin has taken wounds, so I'm going to remove 1 wound from our assassin. He's going to be healed. I did that wrong at the first battle. There's a few things I did wrong in the first battle, I'm pretty sure, because I was, like I said, knocking the rust off myself. Didn't remember how to play. There's a lot of interesting things that happen in this game. It's so fun. This person, that of course only happens at the end of the turn, not at the end of his activation, at the end of the turn. That's it. We'll move into the next round, starting with her. She's going to roll up her movement. She got another 1. Are you kidding me? She's going to use her grit to be able to try to move. Oh, she doesn't have any more grit. She has just gotten her first grit. I think that'll be okay. She's going to stay right where she is, and she's just going to throw us a couple shurikens. She can use these twice per battle because of her ability to be able to uncool down those every time due to her running assault. Oh, I forgot. She gets +2 movement because of running assault. Oh, I totally forget about that. So she got 1, 2. I'm going to move right to there and attack this guy. Why not? I can even move 3. I get a total of 3 with that one. 1, 2, 3. And I get grit on top of that. Well, that's super good. And while I'm moving, I'm going to throw my shurikens. My shurikens come in with a range 4 attack. I got a critical with one of those, so it's going to do how much damage to him? 1. Well, he doesn't get to use his armor to block it. No, he didn't. So he is going to take 1 damage, and that is enough to take him out. My shurikens were super good. Great work there, Kasumi. She was able to take out this one and got herself another 25 experience points. And that's the end of this battle, so we're all going to be able to catch our breath, which is going to be fantastic. The first person that's going to catch their breath is going to be Kasumi. She's going to roll 1d3 and heal up some of her damage that she's taken. She's taken wounds. I'm going to heal 2. Oh, she has to do d3 because she actually already activated. So she's only going to heal 1 wound. Our other characters all get to heal d6, or they get to get themselves a grit. All our characters are at full health and have full grit except for one, and that is our samurai. So he's going to grab himself a grit, but other than that, there's nothing else our characters can do. See, the problem is this person keeps running out and getting attacked, and there's not much I can do because everybody else is like, oh, well, it's all over. So that's the end of this round. We're going to go into the Hold Back the Darkness, and we're going to continue on. Before we hold back the darkness, I do get to grab some loot cards here. We get to see what our characters have found for destroying those spearmen. Our assassin is going to go first. Our assassin has found herself 3 D3 dark shards. Our monk has found a dark shard. Let's see what our sorceress has found. Our sorceress has found a gear card. And Bob has found himself, something cool, hopefully. He has found himself D6 bucks. He has found himself blood money. Let's roll a D6 right here, 3. So 3 times 25, he has got himself again another 75 gold. And the other characters are going to find themselves some dark shard and are going to give themselves 20 experience points each. We do have to roll for Kasumi's D3. Let's see, so she gets 2. So we're going to give 2 dark shards to her, and we're going to give 1 over to our monk, and then we get to draw a gear card again. Oh my gosh, she's out of control. She's got so much gear, I don't even know what to do with. She found herself a fire emblem. Use 3 dark stone to attack attached to an item. Once per turn, you may reroll one of your damage rolls. Oh, this is going to be awesome. This is something we can upgrade our weapons with. So I might give this to one of our characters at some point because I don't think she's going to have anything she's going to be able to upgrade, but that's okay. Our other characters could upgrade some stuff, and that'll be really super cool. All right, that's going to be it. Now it's time to hold back the darkness. But we're going to do that in the next video. Yes, I know I'm leaving you right here at a cliffhanger. Shadows of Brimstone can be an epic adventure every time you put it on the table, and I don't want these videos to be too long. I'm hoping to keep them between an hour and a half, so I'm guessing this is a great place for us to stop. We're getting closer to getting to be able to roll to find the exit. We haven't even come close to probably finding this exit yet, which is pretty cool. I'm really liking this mission a lot. Escape is a super cool mission. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more videos come out. Also, like I said, this video was voted on by my Patreons. If you ever want to be able to help decide what happens in this channel, please feel free to join my Patreon. The link is in the description below. I appreciate all the support I get from my Patreons, and their names are here in front. I appreciate all the support I get from my Patreons. Their names are here on the screen right now. And if you would like to join, please feel free to do. Of course, everything I get from my Patreon does go right back into this channel to create an epic experience for everybody to enjoy. I'm having a blast coming back to Shadows of Brimstone. And if you are too, please go ahead and leave a comment below. I would love to hear from everyone. I know I made a few errors in the first battle, and I probably made a few errors here as well. There's a lot going on. If I try to put in subtitles wherever I make an error, sometimes I don't catch them, and then you'll notice that all of those errors are going to be in a pinned comment found in the comment section of this video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and if you're excited to see if Kasumi, Shintaro, Yuri, or Bob the Samurai, thank you, Hungry Gamer William, for making a great name for our character and a wonderful backstory, then I need you to meet me at the table.